today's digital doorstop, we ask politicians what more should be done to help first home buyers.
Negative gearing in its current form stimulates demand among investors, pushing up house prices. However, if it were limited to the purchase of newly constructed homes, the net effect would be to stimulate supply, making houses more affordable for those looking to buy their first home. I've previously argued for this reform in Parliament, and I will continue to do so to try and convince the major parties to implement this reform for the benefit of first home buyers across the country.
It is no use Tony Abbott just lamenting on how difficult it's been for him to pay his mortgage in the past. He needs to actually come up with a plan to address housing affordability. The Treasurer said before the election that he would have a plan, but we've seen no plan at all for addressing housing affordability. In contrast, Labor is working with academics and with other experts in the area to deliver a housing affordability policy.
There's a quick way to figure out which politicians actually care about house prices. They're the ones who mention stamp duty. In the Liberal Democrats, we believe inefficient state taxes like stamp duty should be abolished. Don't tax buying a house. The other issue is land supply. Australia might be a land of sweeping plains, but housing is expensive in our cities because governments don't make enough land available, and then they regulate the hell out of property development. The truth is, the major parties love high house prices because they are addicted to our money. When prices are high, stamp duties are high. Then they go and spend the money on stupid stuff. I say abolish stamp duty, free up land supply and make it easier to build homes, and they'll soon be affordable.
Home affordability, it's a real tough one, and it seems like it's been around forever. But in the end, we need to get jobs out of the CBD and out to the edges of cities where people are living. That's going to improve many social challenges and allow people to be closer to where they actually work. Second, Brisbane. Property's still relatively cheap here, with 5 capital cities more expensive. So move to Brisbane. There's jobs, there's opportunity, and way more affordable housing than other cities at the moment.
The Greens want to help address the housing unaffordability crisis that we've got in Australia, and the first way to do that is to reform negative gearing, which is artificially driving up house prices and locking out first homeowners from the market. We've announced that we would reform negative gearing and raise $3 billion, which we would then invest in building new housing stock to help predominantly social housing, but of course increasing supply would help first homeowners get into the market. We'd also like to see the first homeowner savings account, which was axed by the Abbott government, brought back. That was a great way for first homeowners to be helped by the government to save. And we want to look at rental affordability.
You can increase supply and allow more homes to be built. But as the RBA has rightly noted, one of the keys to housing affordability is having the infrastructure there to move people, to get them closer to their jobs, faster to their jobs. And it will really demand from government a serious commitment to improving infrastructure in our outer areas within our outer suburbs of cities. In the short term, one of the big things that needs to happen is to take a serious look at the way in which investors are creating a market frenzy out there at the moment. We've got clearance rates for homes in Sydney, edging close to 90%, but we've also got some evidence of pretty bad practices from lenders that may be fueling this frenzy by some fairly loose lending practices that even the regulator APRA has noted and does need to start cracking down on.
Inheritance shouldn't and can't be the only sure path to home ownership for young Australians, but this is presenting now as a real prospect. Preventing it requires a multifaceted approach, and this must include looking at a national approach to urban policy with a real role for bodies like the National Housing Supply Council, as well as looking at questions of tax. And Mr. Hockey, if we're going to talk about jobs and good jobs, how about presenting us with a jobs plan, including a plan for secure work for young Australians?